you guys, episode 11 of War Stories. I'm going to double you guys up. I might go for the hat trick. We're going to see how I feel after I do this one. This one's going to be another short one, man, but it's going to happen around the same time as the last one. Around this same time in the early to mid 90s, I would have a lot of conflicts with the Southsiders out there. So many, I told you guys this before, that they actually recognized me by face and knew my Picasso. They knew that they called me Boxer. There were times where I would hear him say, hey, there's that fool Boxer. So there was just a lot of conflicts that I was having with these cats. And I wasn't a gangbanger. I guess in some senses I was, but at this time I was already an NF member. And my mentality wasn't supposed to be out there in the streets gangbanging. But there was a lot of, the streets had a different look than they had when I left in 89. I left in 89 and it was still red on red conflict. My hood used to go at it with Excelsior District, Excelsior Park, with Eastside, Daly City, Fogtown, Wino Park, Southeast. Now, there was still red on red, but now there's Southsiders out there. And this was new to me, man. There were Sureño neighborhoods established all throughout the city. And it wasn't just San Francisco. This shit was happening all over the state. Most of the bigger cities had Sureño problems. The homies were dealing with them in different cities. Sacramento, Stockton, San Jose, Modesto. It goes on and on and on. Tracy. Even some of the little cities. Whether they were moving in or these guys were homegrown and just started identifying themselves as Sureños, it was what it was, man. And the thing about it is, they weren't just establishing themselves. It's not like they were just establishing themselves and they were going on about their business. Hell nah. These fools were trying to bring the funk, man. And that's why I give them so much respect. You know, as an adversary, you got to respect it, man. These dudes, upstaters, were trying to bring the motherfucking funk. And they were. We were bringing it too, though. So all this was just different. When I got out the pen in 92, I wasn't expecting this shit, man. 19th was like a fucking block party. It was like Whittier and Telegraph, man. Them dudes would be out there 30 or 40 deep. And the cops out there, the San Francisco PD, would just allow them to kick it like that. When, up in my neighborhood, and it's not like I wanted them to be fucked with, but it's just like, I didn't understand why they would sweat. When they'd see 2 or 3 norteños together, flamed up, they go break that shit up. Break it up, run some IDs, inconvenience you, you know what I mean? Give you that whole fucking, that whole song and dance. But these guys, they would let them run freely out there and wouldn't say shit. It's something I just didn't understand. But anyway, there was multiple issues I had like this. I can think of like 5 or 6 off the top when I'm, thinking about this situation that happened right here. But let me just explain to you how I was out doing something else and then something just cracks off out of nowhere. So one night, I wanna say, yeah, this was around 92. It was definitely around 92. It was before my daughter was born, because it was just me, my daughter's mom, and then another homeboy that I told you guys about, the one that I caught the robbery with, that I'm not gonna name, out of respect for him. Big ass dude, big ass Puerto Rican, yoked up, a fucking monster. So anyway, we're on 16th and Mission. I believe we just came from downtown San Francisco. We were down on Market Street, just chilling, man. We're window shopping and just enjoying that city life, man. I'm drinking a 40 ounce. I got a 40, and at that time she was living on 16th and Cap, and I was obviously living there with her. So we got off the BART on 16th and Mission, and we're crossing the street. As we're crossing the street, in the crosswalk, I see an op. If he wasn't, he sure in the fuck looked like one to me. And that's all I needed. So right in the middle of the street, this cat is crossing the street and we're walking towards him. Right when he got to the side of us, I took my 40 and just chunked it at his head, man, as hard as I could. And it smacked the side of his head so hard the bottle just exploded. It fucking just, it busted. And dude dropped right there. He dropped in the middle of the street, and when he dropped, I jogged down to I left my daughter's mom and the homie. I mean, they were walking. It wasn't like I ran off on them. I just did something right there in the middle of the street in front of everybody. So I wanted to get the fuck out of Dodge. I ran down to her mom's house. And I just figured I'd wait on the stairs for him. I don't know if there was cops around there. There's always narcs walking around. There might be a cop at the light somewhere. It's congested out there, even at night. And it was around 5 or 6 o'clock. So it was just instinctive. It was instinctive that I ran down there to her mom's stairs and waited for him. So when they come down, when they finally walk up, they get down to her mom's house. The homie wants to go get some more beer. That night he was gonna crash at the pad, so he wanted to grab some more pisto. So he was like, "Fuck it, you know, there's a liquor store right there on 16th. It's in Valencia. Damn, it's been so long. It's been so long since I've been out there. I forget some of the streets out there. So we walked down to that little liquor store. It's a liquor store I'm very familiar with. I lived around the corner, so I was always in there. Anyway, so when we're walking down there, though, I ask them, like, you know, what happened to that youngster, and they say he fell out right there in the street, but he eventually ended up popping up, and then he just walked off, man. So we walked down to the liquor store. Okay, there's two parts to this, man. I remember. So let me make sure I get this right. So as we're walking to that liquor store, as we were walking to the liquor store, one of my homeboys, good ass homeboy, Lucho, not Lencho, Lucho from the city, part of the Ortiz family. They got a big ass family. There's a bunch of them, man. Lucho pulls up and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" It's like, "Nothing, man. We're just chilling." So we jump in his ride. He had a clean ass plushed out fucking I think it was I want to say 63 drop. Motherfucker was clean, man. So we jump in his ride and we drive up to the hood. We drive up to the hood and we strike through one time. There's really not too many people out there, so we smash back down to 17th. I'm just like, you know what, bro, we're gonna kick it. You know what I mean? Appreciate you driving us out here, but we're probably just gonna call it a night. So he was like, all right, man. He was like, I'll drop you guys off on 17th or 16th, around the corner from her mom's pad. So he drops us off. Lucho takes off up towards 16th and Mission. Now, I don't know where this youngster, I don't know if he went up to 19th. I don't know if he went somewhere else in that area, because they got another Sureño neighborhood down on 15th. Whatever the case was, that cat I cracked with the bottle went and got some of his homies. Went to his hood and he rallied up the troops. These dudes came back like 6 deep. They came back 6 deep with baseball bats. And it's just me and the homie. So when Lucho drops us off, he spins off. And we're walking to the liquor store. The homie wanted to get some more pisto. We're going to call it a night. Crash at the pad. Just drink a little bit more beer and then fade on out. So as we're walking to the store, I look and I see 6 cats running at us. They're coming at us with baseball bats, bottles, and shit. As soon as I see them, the bottles start flying. Bottles start fucking hitting the walls. You know what I mean? So the only thing we could do, and what we did do, is we went into that liquor store, and this is not a small liquor store like the other one I ran into. That's the thing about the city too, man. Down there is in a lot of other areas. Some of you might live other cities. The houses are not like side by side by side by side. You guys can hit fences. You can jump into people's backyards. And you got little escape routes, different little ways you can fucking shake the hoodas if they're chasing you, or ops if they're chasing you. In the city, a lot of those apartments or houses down in the Mission, they're all fucking side by side. They're side by side. There's no fence to jump over, so you can run down a whole block and literally there's nothing to jump over. All the houses are smashed together. That's a fucked up way to live next to your neighbor. But a lot of those houses down there in the Mission are like that. Anyway, so I guess what ended up happening, it was kind of cool, man. The way it happened is when Lucho took off. I don't know where he's seen these guys, but he's seen them running in our direction, and something told him, you know what, man, let me go back and check the homies. They're running in their direction, so that's what he did. He ended up making a U-turn, bust a bitch, and they came from Dolores and not Dolores, Valencia and 16th. And when he pulled up, these dudes had just ran up on us, and it was like he got there at the same time they got there, and it was like, hell yeah, this fool just smashed up. That was our backup. Homeboy pulls up, fucking leaves his car in the middle of the fucking street, jumps out and gets cracking. We all start cracking. We're all fighting. Us three on them six. I get hit. One of these dudes got a 2x4 with the nail in it, and this dude swinging this motherfucker, man, and he ends up. I'm fighting with another one, and this dude tried to smack me with that 2x4, and all I could do was put my arm up, and the nail it hit me in the elbow, and boy, a lot of times when you get stabbed or shit happens like that, and your adrenaline's going and you don't feel it, but I felt that. That motherfucker hit my funny bone and sent a shock down my fucking spine that, oh man, it just hit a funny bone. It felt like my whole arm got hot from the fingers up. Anyway, I get smacked in the elbow with that fucking nail. That shit's got me hot, man. I want to get this fool. There's like 5 of them. Lucho's handling this business. The homie's getting them up with 2 of them. I got 2 on me. That's how this fool was able to hit me with that 2x4. So, I don't know if I said this in the last episode or not, but a lot of the times I would purposely not carry a pistol with me because I was scared of what I would do if I had a pistol. I know that if I have a gun, I'll use it. And every situation doesn't require you to shoot somebody, man. And that's what I was trying to avoid. But I always kept a blade or a box cutter on me, at the very least. A lot of youngsters running around out there with fucking heat. A lot of them got pistols on them, man. So you got to be careful out there, man. And sometimes the difference of you carrying something and not carrying something can be the difference of you living to see another day. Anyway, this youngster with the 2x4. So I'm going at it with this other cat, this other Southsider. He's a little dude though. He's a little ass cat. And I back him up. I hit him with a good 3-piece. Bop, beep, boop, bop. He's trying to sling him back, but he's not even relevant, man. He's a little dude, and I'm just putting fucking hammers on this dude. I really want to get this dude with the 2x4. So anyway, I drill on this little dude and try to get him off my shit, which I end up getting, I do. I ended up backing his ass up. So now I start going at it again with this dude that's got the 2x4. And I didn't have a blade on me that night, but I had a fucking box cutter. One of them little flat carpenter box cutters. So This dude's got this big ass 2x4, and he's a little dude too. He's kind of little with this big ass stick, and he's swinging this stick, and it's so big that, you know, when he swings it, he can only get it back around so fast. So I start timing him. Where I'm gonna fucking rush him when he swings, because he can't swing it fast enough. So that's what I do. But what ends up happening is I get a little bit of help. So in San Francisco, on the sidewalks, a lot of times they'll have areas where they grow trees. And there's like a little square hole where the tree grows out of. And you can actually step in that hole. A lot of times there's garbage and shit in there. But it's you know, there's a little hole right there. So my point is when this dude's swinging, he's backing up. I got the box cutter. He sees the box cutter. I'm trying to get him with this motherfucker, man. He backs up and he ends up falling backwards and tripping in one of those little potholes, one of those little square holes that the trees are growing out of on the sidewalk. And when he tripped, he fell back. I took the box cutter. As soon as he started to fall, I fucking caught him on the top of his head, man. And ooh, I'm not putting too much on it, man. I'm telling you guys how it was. But I got him on the top of his head, and I can still right now feel the bone grinding on that blade, man. I came down right on the top of his dome, and I came down hard and split his shit, man. That dude, head wounds, I said this the other day, head wounds bleed. They leak like a motherfucker. I don't want to get off course, man. I'm going to get off course real quick, but just to explain this to you guys, I got into a fight with another homie over some car keys. Stupid ass shit. We were drunk. We were fighting over it. The other homies are trying to break us up. I took the key for the car. I had it in my hand, and when the homies were trying to break us up, I hit the homie on the top of his head. Pow! And just that little from the key, that little whatever you want to call it, laceration, or that little the flesh wound from that key, that shit bled so much it was crazy. It bled so much that he lost so much blood he passed out. And we had to take him to San Francisco General Hospital and leave him in the doorway. I'm not even lying to you guys. True fucking story, man. Those head wounds bleed a lot. So you can imagine somebody bleeding from a key, somebody bleeding from getting split open with a fucking box cutter. Anyway, after I hit this dude with the box cutter, he ends up getting up. He spun off. I chased him. I tried to catch him again, and you know, the other ones had already took off running. Lucho had jumped in his, well, my lady at that time jumped in his car to get it out of the middle of the street because we were all fighting. So I remember seeing her get in his car and pull it to the side of the street. And then when these fools took off, Lucho started to go after him, and then he came back, and me and the homie were like, hey boy, good looking out, man. It's like you came out of nowhere, bro. You know what I mean? Like Captain Save-A-Ho, bro. Straight up. I mean, it was cool the way like the funk just kicked off, and to see another homie pull up the way he did, man, it was just like, hell yeah, let's do this shit. But it was cool, man. It was cool. I know that's a short one. Those are the kind of chance encounters that I had. I had a lot of them, but I'm going to give you guys more of the grimy shit that I know you want to hear. The drive-bys, the shootings. Some of these stories, I just got to think about how I'm going to tell them to you guys by switching up some of the details, because I'm not trying to get myself caught up. You know what I mean? I'm really not. And I've looked into some of the statute of limitations, and they've burnt up on a lot of this shit. So I just got to be careful, man. Anyway, I know that was a short one again. I don't know about the hat trick. I'm fucking tired. I pulled an all-nighter last night trying to edit these fucking chapters, man. I'll be glad when Sandman gets back on track. I'm seeing doubles right now. So, with that being said, man, give me about 10 minutes and let's see what happens. If anything, maybe I'll do a fucking Inner Demons. I know I don't want to lose focus of that series, the Inner Demons, and I know some of you are waiting for that as well. So, without further ado, man, this your boy Box, episode 11. You got your double hitter. You might get the hat trick. We'll see what happens, man. You guys stay safe, and I'm out.